How did you get the idea for the hub, and how long between the idea and the first day when you opened up a business?
You know, people ask me this a lot. Did you set out? Did you come to Nigeria and set out to just come and do a hub? And you know, the truth is that absolutely not. When I was coming back and when I had ideas and I said I saw opportunities, the hub was not part of it. And it's funny how things work out. I call it a child of necessity. I realized that I was developing a project, and I was developing what was a business idea that I was working on, and it was time to sort of quit what I was doing at that time full time, running Lekki Birisha, and then transitioning into becoming and literally starting a business. Between that transition period, I had a 4-month gig that I given myself. So if you've earned enough X, Y, Z salaries, and by the way, discipline is absolutely key. So my 2 years of running a major organization in Nigeria, it wasn't time for me to spend money. It wasn't time for me to show that I was a big boy in Lagos. It wasn't time for me, you possibly don't see me in any gathering in Lagos. I was busy either running the school or busy saving enough money, knowing that I was supposed to put that money into a business that I was developing, which I'm not sure, you'll see when we launch it. But we're working on it, and at the time we were launching, I was developing it, I realized that, okay, it was time to launch. There was nowhere in Lagos where I could get a good office space. So I went around from one place to another because of the nature of the business. Island was supposed to, because location is key for your business. And by the way, as I'm speaking, I might not, like I said, I won't speak textbook. I will be as practical as possible. A lot of things that I'm saying you will find in business books and business schools. So location is absolutely key. I realized that the island was going to be the prime location for my company. And I went around the whole place. Minimum budget for me to have a good office space in Lagos for it will not take anything less than 2 years, and it will cost between 7 to 8 million naira. And then I needed money to then do up the space. So essentially I needed about 12, 13 million to get a good office space in which I wouldn't even need most of the spaces. And as at the time I was doing that, so I realized that I was working from one place to another. So I would walk out of Bogobiri, I would go to Terra Culture, I would go to 4 Points, I would have my meetings at Radisson, I would go to Federal Palace. And as I was doing that, I realized that quite a number of young entrepreneurs in Lagos were doing the same thing. So so you arrive here at 8 a.m. in the morning and you see people sitting down, and anywhere you could pretty much get two things, internet and power. So I realized that infrastructure was a problem for every young entrepreneur in Lagos. So I started to find out what can I possibly do to solve my problem, which is my first point that I will say to you today. Don't set out to start a company, set out to solve a problem. So when you set out to solve a problem, naturally a business would develop out of that problem solving, and a company would develop out of it. So I realized that how can I solve my problem and get a good office space for myself and possibly create enough for other people? What is it that I see around? And there came the idea of the hub. Do one, so I have my own office space for my company, and then we have spaces for 35 or so other companies, and that's good.
Okay, and how's the journey been so far? Are you happy with the progress to date?
Journey, I think that for me, it's been mixed feelings, and I say that because very excited that we're able to get it done. With all of these ideas came into vision, and for me, the moment I realized that something would definitely work and there's a market for it, I understand my 2% people who are early adopters, my innovators, my market penetration strategy, and I know that there's definitely a market there. The time it takes between the idea and the launching part is actually very, very important. And I say this to you, when you get an idea, the moment you get it, 5 other people have it that same moment. And that's why you go to a car dealership in the morning and you want to buy a specific model of BMW, and somebody is there, our 4 or 5 other people are looking at it. Somehow overnight, all of you thought about the idea of buying that BMW, but at the end of it, only one person will walk out of the place with the BM. So that's the way ideas are. They float around. So I realized for me, execution is important. Saying that you have an idea is not sexy anymore. Being able to execute and implement is the key thing. So how has it been? First year, absolutely great. I mean, for me, we thought occupancy was going to be between 65 and 75%, but we were over it by 25%, so almost 100% occupancy by the first year, which was for us it was really good. Second year, you go through that phase in business where you then, once you've captured your early adopters, which are usually 2% of the market, who really want to try out those are, when they launch an iPhone, those are the people that queue up to buy the night before, all the way, those are your early adopters. And then by the time you've reached out to those people. Your main market, which is your what you call your laggards or your late adopters, is huge, about 34%. That 34% we haven't tapped into it, and that's where we are. So it's been pretty exciting. It's been pretty good.
Lots of hard work, I'm sure.
We don't want to go into the hard work and also dealing with, because the model is that we make it easy for people. So instead of paying 2 years, you pay monthly. And paying monthly, it was the first in Nigeria where we would be that flexible enough for you to pay for office space monthly. And the culture in Nigeria is such a culture of people getting value, but not paying for value. So that for me was the first shock, that how could you not see this value? And when they ask you to bring 2 years, you will take 5 million or 8 million to go and even beg them to take it from you. And we're asking for this token that you spread over a year or 2 years or whatever, however long you're there for, and you're still not seeing the value or not paying for the value. That has been the most challenging part for us, and also because it depends a lot on external providers. Your infrastructure-wise, you have power, you have generator, diesel, internet service, all of those things that make, so even after you've done your own work very well and you're delivering, you can't control what main one is going to do or what Cobranes is going to do, or you can't control what the national grid will be like for a week and you have to live on generator, all of that. But at the same time, I think that our clients have been extremely satisfied, and for me that's key.